When you think about the internet as a real-time medium, there is an expectation from your audience for a real-time answer, right? So a brand can take advantage of that by listening to those networks. Use keyword triggers, you can read feeds and look for the places where these questions are happening and come together with an answer as quickly as possible. If you're serving that social space or that audience with an immediate answer, it not only answers that one question, but it'll also answer the questions for the other people who read it who might have a similar question. And as those social spaces get picked up in search, there are a lot of people searching for that same question. So in effect, you're not answering for one person, you're answering for many. And there are certainly some direct metrics that you can use. You can have direct traffic coming from those spaces. You might have a social space where that conversation is pushing back traffic to your web asset, whether it's video, websites, or whatever you have out there. Then you can measure the conversion. But it's fair to say that not a lot of it is direct. It's more of a branding. You might take a branding approach to it, the same way you would put out a display ad, or you would put out a billboard, or a commercial on TV. The exposure is great. You have an opportunity for mass media exposure through repetition of this type of practice. So you get the exposure from that. You get some direct attribution where it can be measured. What we're seeing in the United States is that this type of effect is also having a big impact on natural search results. So by having this greater presence, that you're increasing your visibility in natural search, and you're also increasing the authority and the trust within a search engine like Google.
It entails a lot of different approaches, and what we believe is that the best way to do it is to really understand your audience first and foremost. And so a lot of what we do is we look at behaviors and preferences in a number of different ways. So we'll look at search data, how people search and what language they use, and create linguistic profiles based on the keywords they search with and how they talk about things. For example, you know, when I'm looking for a car, I might use the term convertible, but a marketer might use sports car. And so we need to understand the way that people think about the things that they're looking for. I'm not going to say that you shouldn't necessarily use specific pieces of content across different platforms at all. At the same time, you need to make sure that you're customizing your content for that community or for that outlet. You know, when people think about multi-level or multi-platform, cross-platform marketing, it's not a matter of taking your TV ad and putting it on YouTube. The way that people watch video on YouTube, they're in a very different mindset usually, and they're looking for very different things than when they're sitting back on their couch watching another piece of entertainment. But what we need to do is really develop an asset library. When we go in to produce creative assets, and we're capturing video, we're capturing digital photos, we're thinking about what we're going to write on blogs and on social status updates, we need to have a library that we can draw from and use the cost of that production across those different platforms. So we're not reinventing the wheel every time we go to a different platform, but we're telling a holistic story in a customized way for each of those outlets. What I think brands need to embrace more is the idea that there are agencies, they're creative agencies, and people that are creating content for them can help them on multiple different levels. It's not just for awareness. It's not just for advocacy. We can create content in customized ways that reaches people across the purchase journey in very specific ways. And so I think that if brands start to embrace content marketing holistically as just a part of any of their marketing activities, then it will be more effective.